Welcome to the Mammoth Tech Show. I'm Jeff, and today we're looking at our new TCL Roku TV. So let's get over to the sofa where me and Frankie can talk about the merits of our new 4K TV. TCL have been around for quite a while and are actually used by some other companies. Amazon have recently released their own branded TV, and it's actually a TCL with the Amazon interface rather than the Roku interface built on. So it works in a very similar way, and obviously very similar specs, but it's all Amazon branded. But this one's, as I said, obviously Roku branded, so you get all the different interfaces and different streaming services that come with that. So, how are we finding the picture quality of our new TV?
I think it's really good. It is an improvement over the last TV.
The picture quality is very nice.
It is, yeah. So I'm finding when I'm just watching the normal TV series or even films, you can tell that the picture quality has improved.
The only thing I find is if you sit off at an angle, colour can go a little pale if you're just looking at it just to one side. Not dramatically. You can see that the colour isn't quite as good as when you're straight on, but then it's a budget 4K panel, and taking that into account, it's a nice picture quality. It's our first encounter with 4K.
Yes.
Obviously, not all of the content that we are consuming is 4K, but some is, like the stuff on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And this is even Dolby Vision compatible, which is basically a slightly better version of HDR10. But it's HDR is a whole can of worms. Is it HDR or HDR? It's HDR not. It's a whole thing. Really, if you're fussed about HDR, you're gonna need to pay a lot of money in order to get HDR right. Basically, at this sort of level, having HDR means a little Dolby Vision logo appears in the top right when you start the picture.
If you're watching something that's compatible with it.
Yes, I mean it does look nice.
It does look very nice.
Obviously, a much nicer, fancier TV would look even nicer, but so this looks good. And as I said, it's our first encounter with 4K, and yet it definitely is nice and crisp. This is a decent quality screen for the money. I think it's probably the best way to describe it. But it wasn't just the screen quality we were looking at. You may remember, if you're a long-time viewer, that we did a review of one of the Roku boxes quite a few years ago now, and that's what we've been using until
on the old now. TV. Yeah, so the old TV had a box that was on the side of that went onto the side of the TV, didn't it?
Which gave us our streaming and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Now it's built into the TV, and the fact it was Roku was one of the reasons why we thought it might be, we're used to that, and thought that would give it a go.
Yes.
And I was very pleased to find that it is a lot more responsive than the actual dedicated Roku, but the TV boots up very quickly.
Yeah.
Menus work very nice and smoothly. You can scroll up and down the channel list really quickly. Some of the old TVs, some of the first digital TVs, if you remember, going up and down, just scrolling up and down, it could be really slow and clunky.
Because it can load in the channels.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
and the menus and.
Yeah, it could be really bad, but this can scroll up and down as fast as.
I mean, I would say as well, going on to that one of the huge benefits to having it built into the TV is that you only have one remote control.
Yeah.
With all of the controls on it. Whereas before, because we had a separate Roku box, you had the TV remote, and then you had a separate remote for the Roku stuff. and then if you had any other stuff attached, separate remotes for that. So now we've just got one remote control with all of the Roku stuff built into that, so you can power on the TV, power off the TV, go back to live TV and the channels.
Yeah.
And switching the inputs as well is really easy from the remote control, because you can label the inputs.
That is one difference. It seems to have come along in the last few years with TVs. One really difficult part to try to explain to people when they were connecting anything from a DVD player to a games console is, you got to connect it into HDMI 1 or HDMI 2 or whatever, and people didn't like that, and didn't help the fact that on TV remote controls, input symbol, the symbol for the button for the input, choosing an input was usually some sort of weird hieroglyph that didn't mean anything to anyone, possibly a square with a little line going into it if you were lucky. It was, people found that quite difficult, but now...
And it was a bit of a guessing game as to, did I plug that into HDMI 1, 2, 3, 4? I used to have to scroll through each one, switch my device on and then scroll through each one until it appeared.
But now the interfaces have a proper icon, which doesn't even say, you can get it to say what you want. You can games console or Switch or Xbox or Blu-ray player or Skybox or whatever you want it to be.
So you can just scroll across and you've got live TV and then all your different inputs that are named, so it's just so easy to use. Pick a different icon, pick a name, and it does make it quite a bit easier, a bit more intuitive as well. And this one, as well as other features, talking about other features, this one doesn't have any form of recording. Even if you just stick a little memory stick into the USB slot, it doesn't have its own recording function. Although it does seem to be able to, because if you do stick a USB stick in, it allows you to pause and rewind live TV. So if you pause it, a little buffer starts to appear with a little timeline, and you can fast forward and rewind along that timeline as if it was a recorded piece. But as soon as you skip out of that and onto something else, that's gone and you can't access it anymore. So what I kind of suspect is happening is that the TV manufacturers have to pay some sort of licensing fee to the operators in order to have a Freeview TV that can record. There must be some additional charge because it is clearly capable of doing it. It's doing it effectively with that buffer function, so it can do it. But because it's a cheap TV, they didn't want to spring for the license. That's what I suspect is happening. Bear that in mind. Don't assume it's a new TV with Freeview Play. It must have recording. It doesn't. Freeview Play is basically the catch-up TV series services. It's the catch-up TV services built into the TV guide, but going backwards. So instead of looking forward to see what's coming, you can look backwards to see what's gone. The benefit of Freeview Play that I've found is that you go back to whatever program you want within the last 7 days, and like Jeff said, if it's got the ability, so the little asterisk next to it to say that it's on Freeview Play, you select that program and it will take you to the relevant catch-up service, but it will take you straight to that episode. So you wouldn't, if you wanted to catch up with something on the iPlayer or on the BBC, you wouldn't have to go to the BBC iPlayer app, search for your program, then search through all the episodes. It will just take you straight to where you want to be.
It's really a convenience thing. Really. It's not really. It doesn't do anything that just having the catch-up services, having them there and just looking for it manually. It's a convenience thing. Yeah, it's a
good TV for the money. I mean, even the sound's good. It's got speakers down the firing speakers, and it's we're definitely pleased with it.
So the other benefit that I find with the old Roku box, and it also happens with the new Roku box, is that you can connect your phone up to it. So you can download the Roku app onto your phone and connect it up to whichever Roku device you've got, and it basically gives you a replica remote control on your phone.
In case you
misplace this one, or you're on the other side of the room with a cat on your lap and can't get to the main remote control, I can just open it up on my phone and still control it. And it's a really clever app, because although it's a Roku app, it knows which device it's connected to. So because it knows it's connected to our living room TV and that the Roku is integrated into the TV, I can control the whole TV from the remote control on my phone. Whereas the other one, it knew that it was only a separate box, so I only had the functionality of that box. So, it's really clever. And I can toggle between the two because it's the app's connected to both. So if you had it upstairs. So I find that a really useful feature, simply for convenience. I've normally got my phone next to me. So it's just another little useful feature that you might find handy if you've misplaced your remote control but you've got your phone. I would recommend, when you're setting your TV up, connect your phone up, and then you've always got access to a remote. Just in case.
So, what do you reckon? Would you go for a TCL, or do you have another brand that you've got your eye on? Let us know in the comments. And that's it for now. I've been Jeff. This has been the Mammoth Tech Show, and you've been very kind to watch. Thank you very much.